I kicked out my pregnant tenant for trying to take over my bedroom. My grandmother passed away last year and left me her 4-bedroom house. I am only 19 and the property taxes are steep, so I decided to rent out the spare rooms to local students. I have very strict house rules: no smoking, no drugs, and no overnight guests for more than 2 nights a week. Everything was going fine until my tenant, Sarah, started dating a guy named Jason. Jason is 10 years older than Sarah and has the personality of a brick. He works odd jobs and spends most of his time complaining about how the world is out to get him. Within 3 months of them dating, Sarah told me she was pregnant. I tried to be supportive. I told her she could stay as long as she followed the rules, but that the house wasn't really set up for a newborn. Sarah didn't take that well. She started acting like she owned the place. She began moving my kitchen appliances into the garage to make room for her high-end baby bottles and formula mixers. When I moved them back, she told me I was being aggressive and that her nesting was a biological necessity I had to respect. It got weird fast. Last Tuesday, I came home to find Sarah and Jason sitting at my dining room table with a measuring tape and a notebook. Sarah looked at me with a straight face and told me that since the baby was coming in a few months, they had decided to move into my master suite. My room is the only one with an attached bathroom and a walk-in closet that she wanted to turn into a nursery. She told me I should move into her smaller room at the end of the hall because I'm just one person and I don't need the space. I laughed because I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. Jason stood up and told me that as a man, I should understand the importance of providing for a family. He said it was only fair since they were paying customers. I reminded them that they pay for 1 bedroom, not the whole house, and that my name is the only one on the deed. I told Jason he needed to leave because he had already stayed over 4 nights that week. That is when Sarah dropped the bomb. She smirked and told me Jason had already moved in. She had given him a copy of her key weeks ago, and he had been sleeping in her room every single day while I was at work. My stomach twisted. I have a Ring camera on the front porch, but I usually only check it if a package is delivered. I went to my room and pulled up the footage from the last 2 weeks. Jason had been coming and going like he owned the place. He was bringing friends over when I wasn't home. I saw footage of them sitting on my porch drinking and flicking cigarette butts into my grandmother's flower beds. In one clip, Jason was even trying to pick the lock on my bedroom door while Sarah watched and laughed. I didn't even argue with them. I called my uncle, who is an attorney, and he told me that since they were on a month-to-month agreement and had violated the no unauthorized guests and no key duplication clauses, I could terminate the lease immediately. I printed out the eviction notice and taped it to Sarah's door that night. The next morning, I had a locksmith come out and change every single lock on the exterior doors. Sarah and Jason showed up an hour later with a load of groceries. When their key didn't work, Jason started pounding on the door so hard I thought the glass would shatter. He was screaming that I was a deadbeat and that I couldn't throw a pregnant woman onto the street. I opened the window on the 2nd floor and told them their stuff was packed in the garage, and they had 2 hours to get it before I called the police for trespassing. Sarah started crying, saying she had nowhere else to go and that I was ruining her baby's life. I told her she should have thought about that before she tried to steal my bedroom. They eventually left, but the drama didn't end there. Sarah has been posting all over Facebook about how I am a heartless monster. I've been getting messages from people I haven't talked to in years telling me I should be ashamed of myself. They keep saying a bedroom isn't worth a child's safety. But yesterday, I was cleaning out the room Sarah had lived in. I moved the dresser and found a small hole drilled into the wall that shared a border with my bathroom. She had installed a tiny wireless camera pointed directly at my shower. My skin crawled. She wasn't just trying to take my room. She had been recording me for weeks. I took the camera straight to the police station. It turns out Jason has a history of voyeurism charges in the next county over. Now, instead of worrying about my public image, I'm watching the police file a warrant for his arrest. Sarah can call me a monster all she wants on the internet, but I'm just glad I changed the locks when I did. I realized that some people don't want a helping hand. They want to take the whole arm and the house that's attached to it.